Hey, it's a Tuesday. It's Rumor and Innuendo. I'm Dominic D'Angelo of Studio1Sports.com, and I'm here with WE Creative _ Robert Karpolis. And wow, Robert, did I curse the Knicks? Or more importantly, did I curse this show?
You absolutely cursed the show. So here's a fun peek behind the curtain. I'm sitting at my desk yesterday, finish a meeting, ready to go record. It's 11:56. It's 11:57. 11:58. It's 12:03. It's 12:09. No word from Dom. I start planning the funeral. Got some singers lined up, a beautiful eulogy, and then Dom writes back, "Oh, hey, forgot to tell you, won't be able to make the show today."
Yes, I was
So
in West Virginia actually for a wrestling show. It's called Camp Echo for special needs kids, and it was such a fun time. Really fun time.
Well, see, now I feel like a jerk. If I would have known it was for that, I would. What?
Well, I didn't tell you, so it's not your fault.
What? So let me get this straight. So it's a camp for special needs kids, and you guys put on a wrestling event for them.
Put on a wrestling show for it, yeah. So it's a lot of fun. The crowd was so energetic, and it was a really positive atmosphere. And first time I ever got to ring announce, so it was a pretty nice experience overall.
Oh, I can't even imagine what that would have been like. Let's say hi to the folks joining us here in the chat. E says, "What's up? What's y'all excuse for yesterday? And when the next episode of Fonzie and RVD?" You know what's weird about E? E never asks when the new working stiff is going to be.
Great point, Robert. Great point.
We recorded a working stiff yesterday that's up on the main feed, and Scott and I are recording another working stiff this Thursday.
Yeah.
So you're getting two on the main feed plus tons of Patreon content.
Man, exciting stuff. People already like the episode. I'm seeing positive feedback on the Patreon.
I would hope that they would like the episode. It went up yesterday. We thought it was a solid show. J. Wade Walter says, "Morning, Rumorheads. Do you think they'll pull the trigger on Dom winning the King in the Ring with Seth out and Oba most likely facing Brock at SummerSlam?" That's an interesting question. We'll take a look at that in a little bit. Willie Thornbrew says, "Excited to be here live for Rumor and Innuendo, and there's a new episode of Working Stiff to listen to afterwards. Life is good. No arguments here." Because John Gisco joining us saying, "Good day, R and I." Cami Star says, "After morning, Dom, do you get to beat up kids? You get a beat up kid discount from Marcus?"
I do get a beat up kid discount from Marcus. I do.
Lou 4237 being a dick by saying, "Good morning. Welcome to the Dom Show, occasionally featuring Robert." Man, I was here. I was ready to go.
It would have been the Robert Show, yes.
It would have been the Robert Show, but Dom does not give me the login information. I have no ability to log in and just do the show on my own. That is the kind of
intent. It's by just logistics.
Logistics of intent. He has boxed me out, kind of like the San Antonio Spurs did to your New York Knickerbockers last evening.
Heavens to Betsy, what a game!
I guess Danhausen unable to counteract Trump.
I think so. Trump is like this looming Charlie Brown cloud going down. Well,
I did dig the footage of Trump sleeping during the game because I too asleep.
Oh, how about that?
I'm not going to. First of all, kids, I watched the first game. I've not watched an NBA game in quite some time because I grew up kind of like a lot of wrestling fans who were like, boy, I grew up with Hogan and then the Attitude Era, and then things kind of fell off for a while, so people kind of trickled away from it. As a youth, as a young gentleman, Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, moving into Michael Jordan, then you get the peak of 90s NBA basketball.
Oh my gosh.
And I remember on PTI, pardon the interruption, when Tony Kornheiser was going nuts about LeBron James, a high school kid coming out into the NBA, and this is going to bring about the demise of the NBA. And I watched game one of the finals. I watched college basketball. Don't get me wrong. I'll watch the Gators all day, every day. Watched game one. It was some of the worst basketball I think I've ever seen. I've become an old man. I'm going, these kids can't shoot. It's like watching when you would play NBA Jam as a kid and everybody's just trying to make half-court shots that are just banking off the rim.
It's a completely different game from when, we were 90s kids. It's like so bad. There's no more fundamentals and a lot of that stuff. Tim Duncan would be very upset.
I hate Tim Duncan.
Mr.
He's a very
Fundamental.
workmanlike. I was telling my best friend this the other day. He's a very workmanlike guy. I never liked Tim Duncan. He was born. We have flashier players. There were more interesting guys. I still maintain that Heat core five that we had was absolutely solid. Alonzo Mourning, Tim
Oh
Hardaway, Jamal
man,
Mashburn, Vashawn Leonard, it Thunder Dan Marley.
Marley.
What a group.
You liked the Heat before they were the Heat, really?
I liked. Well, I mean, I remember watching like Ronnie Cycli and John Sally.
My goodness,
This was
jeez.
this was big time stuff, and then they went out and got Shaq, and I was like, this isn't fun. Because being a Florida sports fan is bizarre because we bought a World Series in '97.
Mm-hmm.
We literally bought basically the Springfield softball team, and then they disbanded, and
Uh-huh.
then they bought another team in 02, 03, and then disbanded.
Mm-hmm.
And the Miami Dolphins are just never going to win a Super Bowl in my lifetime. But I did get to see the Giants win a Super Bowl, so I'm good. Actually, more than one, so I'm fine.
I'm still waiting on the Jets. Still waiting on the
Oof,
Jets.
well, look, the only salvation I have as a Dolphins fan is getting to watch the Jets lose. Like they'll never put it together, and I'm
It's going
okay
to be
with
a
that.
matter of who wants it less this year, the Jets or the Dolphins.
Monday Night Raw happened
Yeah.
yesterday from beautiful Paris, Texas, and Paris, France.
Mm.
Not Texas. Beautiful, beautiful country there. I'll be there next month.
Oh, bonjour.
Yes, taking a little international work trip over
Did
to
you happen to study Wuzzy? Is that what it was called back in the day?
Je suis la jeune vie. That's the only thing I know how to say in French because of that stupid commercial.
Yeah.
And I think that it means I'm a little girl. So, really useful phrase to have while
Yes.
wandering around France.
Oh my god.
That or anything Pierre Escargot taught us from all that.
Yeah. Oh, that's right, Pierre. Let's go. Mm. Well,
let's get to Raw.
let's get to Raw, Robert. It was an episode, like you said, from Paris, France, and it fired off with what exactly? I can't even remember. What it was? How did it start, Robert? Help me out here.
It started with Obafemi
That's right.
coming out dressed in a stylish shirt.
I like the shirt. I like a shirt game, Robert. It's different.
Do you think I'm in a situation where I'm going to speak ill of Obafemi in any form or fashion? That man could rip my arms off of my body and then beat me with them.
Are you saying you could take LA Knight because you do the same to him?
Anybody could take LA Knight. LA Knight is all talk. But Oba basically said the Paul Heyman line. He's like, this is not a prediction. This is a spoiler that I'm going to win King of the Ring. Dom comes out, not you, the Dom who actually showed up for work on a Monday.
Wow.
It's never gonna not be fun.
No.
Dominic Mysterio comes out, keeps calling Obafemi a rookie,
I love
which
it.
was hilarious because Dom points out that he is a 20-year vet, which makes me feel insanely old having worked with Dom back 21 years ago.
Yes. I like it a lot, Robert. You know, to whoever said it earlier on, was it Wrestling Old Head said about the Dom potentially winning King of the Ring? I think it would be a very, very fun move to do. And you know what? If you have, this would be a good way to introduce somebody new into the Judgment Day, like a new enforcer or something like that next week or whenever they face. Oh, I guess it'd be at Crown Jewel or whatever it's called, Night of Champions. You know, when they.
So we'll have to look at the bracket. Do you have the brackets? Why don't you pull up the brackets while I'm chatting through this? So Dom speaks ill of Obafemi. JD tries to attack Dom, starts to attack Obafemi with a chair. It doesn't work.
Nope.
So Obafemi lays waste to both of these guys. Absolutely fantastic. We then get a Seth Rollins promo where he talks about that his future was with the Vision. Now it's his past. It's very Marty McFly-esque. And then says he's coming after Roman. I'm going to beat Roman.
This is Robert. This is like Seth's whole issue this whole time. He just does not make a shift. It's the same song and dance. He's back to like the big sunglasses and the same old stuff that doesn't catch with anybody. I mean, like obviously the song catches up, but it's like everything else is just it's Seth Rollins. It's part of the course. It's paint by numbers. I didn't like this promo.
Yeah. So
I have the bracket. So Obafemi facing off at Rey Mysterio.
Yep.
or Dominic Mysterio, excuse me. And
So
then obviously,
Obafemi is facing Dom, and
yes,
then Javon Evans, who we'll talk about later on in this show, is going to be facing the winner of, I want to say it was Jey Uso
yep,
and
got one.
Repo Man.
Nope, Royce
No.
Keys,
Royce Keys,
Finn Balor,
Finn Balor.
and your boy LA Knight.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So one half is that one, and then Obafemi, Dom Mysterio, Night of Champions.
This is weird.
It is a weird one.
That is worth pondering. On the women's side, we got Alexa versus Chelsea versus Becky versus Liv. They still have not seemed to have done an adequate job explaining why Liv Morgan is in the Queen of the Ring tournament when she's already the women's champion. More astonishingly, she's gone over 50 days without defending the title.
Oh my god. Yeah, and I think the only storyline they're really leaning on with that is Liv wants it all. That's Cole said that after she won the match, and
Well, they're clearly setting up the Liv Roxanne stuff. You know,
yeah,
they did it. They did it later on in the show, which is worth addressing here. This notion of Roxanne apologizing for being mad that she didn't advance, but hey, if it's you or Raquel, as long as Judgment Day wins, like as long as one wins, we all win. So
right.
we're highlighting the hypocrisy of what's going on with Liv. Liv and Roxanne will be a fun match at some point down the road.
And Roxanne will be a great baby face too to counter her, I think. So
We
yes,
got
indeed.
Gable apologizing to Penta. So now their beef is Pentagon.
Mm-hmm. Nice. I like it.
Yes. And then Montez Ford and Seth Rollins are buddies. I give up.
This is the only way to really give Seth a chance at, like, I don't know, being a good baby face, I think, because Montez Ford has so much charisma, so maybe he can feed off of that a little bit, but like right now it does not seem that way so far. I like the Jacob Fatu aspect of this one though.
So the Usos confront Seth to basically say, keep Roman's name out your mouth, and Jay goes to Fatu, get him. Fatu doesn't get him.
Yeah.
We got Sol Ruka versus Lyra Valkyria.
Mm-hmm.
This is a solid match. What do you think of this?
I liked it. Do you like Sol Ruka's like Lita look, or how do you feel about that?
Yeah, I think it works. It's one of the strange litmus tests for me was when there was that Saturday night's main event, the John Cena one-off that's now opened up this portal to the depths of hell of this American Idol voting situation.
Oh boy.
What I thought worked was Sol Ruka's presentation. Struck a chord with my daughter. Not a wrestling person. She's like, oh, who's this? What is she doing? This is interesting.
Yeah, and that's a key component to it. If it works for that, you can't get anything better than that, then for sure.
I thought that was a pretty solid look. This was a pretty solid match.
Mm-hmm.
Sol Ruka getting some quality wins makes a lot of sense. Obviously, getting to a Lyra loses, and then we get Bailey versus Sol probably at some point. Let her get some more quality wins before moving into another storyline.
Yep. No, I'm for it. Yeah, Sol Ruka's on the rise up, and I like it. I like it a lot, Robert. So that was definitely a good part about it. We
got Jacob Fatu confronting the Usos.
Yep.
Jey Uso mad at Jacob at Fatu. We're literally just retelling the entire Bloodline story as if the last one didn't happen.
It is rinse, wash, and repeat. I like Jacob Fatu's taking a stand for himself and like clearly delineating a line that he's not for the Usos, he's for Roman, and that's it because he lost the match. So gives Jacob Fatu a little bit more teeth after quote unquote being neutered. So I like that. In what it is for, though, take it for what it is. I don't like the storyline in general, but this is a okay, correct course in some form or fashion, but still don't like it.
LA Knight, I don't know what world I'm living in, but this was not a bad promo from LA Knight.
I agree.
It was a little corny, but this idea of he's calling out, like he's turning into me. Did everyone take crazy pills? Why does no one remember that Roman Reigns is a con artist? Why does no one remember that Roman Reigns created a reign of terror, if you will, that almost destroyed the whole company, and you all are just letting it happen again, and that Pierce is enabling it? And then Jey Uso comes out to confront him. I don't hate this. This is exactly where you want to use an LA Knight. He's not a main event guy. He's a guy where you need to elevate somebody for a couple weeks over the summer, and you want to roosh him to the main event, and then roosh him right back down to the mid card. When you get the bull, you're stuck with the what comes out of the back of the bull, and that's what we had here. Was this gentleman? But
Look, I think this would have been a little bit even more captivating if it was Jey Uso versus LA Knight, but they're just in the 4-way for the King of the Ring tournament. So
we'll get there. I think teeing up this notion that LA Knight might win, or that LA Knight might lose because Jey Uso winds up getting outside interference help.
yeah,
I don't think they're going. The problem they've run into with the 4 guys that are floating around there, that being Obafemi or Javon Evans or Dominic Mysterio or the winner of this 4-way match. One of them has the main event SummerSlam against Roman Reigns or Cody Rhodes. None of these guys feel like that's the right spot for them. Oba should be main eventing SummerSlam, but they're going to probably do Oba and Brock. I don't
get away
think
with Dom and Cody.
No,
You don't think so?
not a strong enough match to main event a night, unless the idea is that they have a women's match so strong that they're going to go with it. They're going to go with Charlotte and Rhea to main event one of the nights, and then the other night's going to be, Punk versus Cody. Like, who the hell knows?
Yeah, it is a little peculiar, and I think too you're still going up against the uphill battle of getting Cody as that babyface, that and them not still shifting over to maybe cheering Dom even in that kind of aspect, because I think that's something that is an ongoing issue. I think, even though I like Cody.
I like Cody too. As to whether look, Cody might not be champion come SummerSlam.
Good point too.
It might be Gunther.
Mm-hmm.
But the idea that, look, there's also I can't believe I'm going to say this, and I hate that I'm going to say this, and this is we're going darkest timeline here.
Oh boy, this is my favorite segment too when you do this on Working Stiff. By the way,
Jey Uso wins King of the Ring and challenges Roman Reigns, and we get a split in the bloodline, and then Jey Uso truly becomes main event Jey Uso. Can you imagine that? A Jey Uso singles run? Crowds of people doing yeet? This could be great. This would be the hottest story of 2024.
Here's what I don't think that's going to happen. Is Jey Uso alluded that he would go after Cody's title?
Correct, but you never know. He might pull the old switcheroo. What's good for the goose is good for the gander.
Legs Louie asks, "What about Randy?"
Randy's not in the King of the Ring, so be a little tough. Yeah, there is a world where they run it back and they do Cody Rhodes versus Randy Orton.
I'd be all right with that, right?
There's still story there.
Absolutely.
But the complete lack of follow through is bizarre. You still got Punk floating around out there with nothing going on and nothing to do.
Yep. Ain't that the truth too?
We've Chad Gable apologized to Rey Mysterio and Dragon Lee.
Rey Mysterio was all for it, and so was Dragon Lee. He understood it. They had the respect for him. And then Rey alluded that, hey, you had even some more beef in the past, even before you put that mask on. Maybe you should correct course on.
It was weirdly therapeutic. And then we got Rey versus Penta.
Mm-hmm.
This was fun. I
liked it.
This was a smart match to advertise because they knew, hey, we're live from Paris at 2:00 in the afternoon, to get people to go and watch Raw at their convenience after. Is we're going to give you a big match. What they always kind of do when they're in Europe is we're going to give you something on paper that if you didn't tune in live, hey, go back into your Netflix, which I did not watch Raw live. I was actually recording Working Stiff at the time. It is an absolute pain in a certain appendage to go back and watch Netflix on Raw, because you still have all the commercials and you can't fast forward through them. Even though I'm paying for whatever the top tier is, I'm getting just terror. It's awful. And guys,
hey,
if you're feeling a pain in that certain appendage as well, but it's not from ad breaks, It's from other interruptions.
Mm.
And we got somebody to talk about, and that is our friends at Blue Chew. They've been on a mission for years to get you bricked up, build your confidence, and help you actually perform in the bedroom. Their new arousal boosting formula, Blue Chew Gold, is helping millions of men have better sex in 2026. And we've got a special deal for our listeners right now. When you buy 2 months of Blue Chew Gold, you're going to get that third month for free with promo code Rumor. That's promo code Rumor. Visit BlueChew.com for more details and important safety information. And we thank Blue Chew for sponsoring this episode of Rumor and Innuendo. You're going to F better. And speaking of cluster Fs, there was the main event of Monday Night Raw where Michael Cole he didn't need Blue Chew because he needed to try to talk about how excited he was and how amazing Tonga is, how amazing Javon Evans is, and he tried his hardest to convince you that Ricky Saints is not just the worst thing ever.
Really? I love Ricky Saints.
I can't stand. I want to like Ricky Saints. I know people who are familiar with him. Super nice guy, really just a good individual. It doesn't work for me.
I like him. But yes, Javon Evans, were you surprised by him winning this?
No. My prediction all along was that we were going to get a vision interference with them taking out Seth. They're not done with that story. It feels like we're building to Seth Rollins and Montez Ford versus Braun Breaker and Austin Theory for the tag titles in Saudi.
Yep.
That feels like a match on the card for sure. Looking at the other folks who are in there, it certainly wasn't going to be Ricky.
No, it was going to
be way too soon to give Ricky Starks that spot. Ricky Saints, sorry.
Okay.
So you're pretty much left with Tonga or Javon Evans. Tala didn't look bad here. I thought he looked pretty good with Royce Keys. I feel like they're getting him a little bit of confidence going forward.
Yeah.
But Javon being the young guy to advance going forward was the right decision. Everything okay? You got distracted by something off to the side.
No, I was thinking.
That was your thinking.
Yes. What do you think is the route they're going to be taking here with the MFTs? Because it just feels like they're just so dead in the water, it feels like, right?
No, I think what we're going to wind up seeing is I think Royce Keys is going to join up with the MFTs.
Interesting.
I think that that's ultimately where this is going to go. That Royce Keys they're going to go the most hackneyed route. Royce Keys coming from the background that he's come from, you can't go at it alone. He was trying to ride with Truth and Priest just wouldn't accept him. Mm-hmm. So now he's going to team up with the MFTs, and they're going to go after whomever. And I think that would free up Trick Williams to go full babyface going forward.
Right.
And then you could do a Trick Williams-Royce Keys match, a Trick Williams solo match. You got Tonga and Tonga going after the tag titles. Gives them a lot of things to play with.
All right.
That's your way to elevate your MFTs over time. I think you're going to.
You think they still can be resuscitated to a bigger level?
Who, the MFTs?
Yeah, the MFTs.
Absolutely. I think the world of Solo. I think Solo is a tremendous utility player, and he's a guy that you can build up and tear down and build up and tear down, and the audience is always going to accept him as Dom has just vanished into the ether. So I think we're still on. It may just be me. It's me. If I'm still on, someone feel free to let us know in the chat, or I'm just yelling into the oblivion, which is kind of what I wind up doing here on this show anyway, as we do every Monday through Friday at noon Eastern. We are on a plethora of platforms, even when Dom gets abducted by whatever he was. Look, it's weird. He was looking off to the side. Pretty sure Dom got abducted. So assuming that Dom has not been kidnapped by some sort of international consortium or the LA Night contingents out there are finally getting their revenge. Oh, Dom is back. I was wrapping up the show. It's fine. I assumed you got kidnapped.
No, the Wi-Fi went out in the cafe, so luckily I have my hotspot.
I was wrapping up the show, Dom. We covered all of it. I don't think there was anything else on the. Do we want to talk to Vince's lawsuit for a minute?
Talk about that, because I just saw the headline, so I don't know the pertinence about all that.
So they've decided to settle. This because that judge made the ruling about the signal communications. And without getting way too into tort law or civil litigation issues here, basically what they had ruled was usually one side has to prove a number of facts.
Mm-hmm.
They've shifted that burden by saying because of all these signal deletions, we're just going to automatically assume everything that the shareholders who are bringing this suit have alleged is true, and now it's on TKO and Vince to prove otherwise, which they ain't going to be able to do. You've shifted that burden, which makes it a lot more challenging for them to prevail. And part of those presumptions were Vince McMahon and Ari Emanuel had communication prior to the engagement of the lawsuit. Ari Emanuel promised Vince McMahon a position in TKO. Ari Emanuel promised to indemnify Vince McMahon, meaning anytime Vince was being sued for his actions as CEO of WWE, the TKO entity would step in and they would defend the lawsuit. That Ari Emanuel had made promises to Vince along the lines of, we have some favorable friends in the Department of Justice who may help you with the charges that are being brought against you by Janelle Grant that have sparked a DOJ investigation. And maybe we can kind of cool that a little bit. There were allegations in there that Vince was going to go with Ari Emanuel's offer no matter what, which means he was violating best interest rules under business judgment law. All of that would have led to them ruling in favor of the shareholders. Vince's argument and ultimately his statement of, well, we made a lot of money for the shareholders, they should be happy, is not the underlying root of the lawsuit. It's not whether or not this was ultimately a successful merger. It was whether they took the right steps to get there. It's not an outcome-based ruling. It's the procedure and the process. You have to open this up to a number of suitors. You present it to the board in good faith, and it may have well won on the merits. Everyone may have looked at it and said, yes, going with this TKO merger was probably the best decision for the company. But Vince was making them based on what the presumption now was. Vince was making these based on what was best for him personally, and Ari Emanuel was making these overtures for Vince on a personal level, not what was best for the company. None of that has been proven one way or the other, but what that judge basically said was, as soon as you started deleting those signals, we now have to presume that these are in fact true, and now it is a rebuttable presumption that TKO and Vince need to prove otherwise. And rather than go down that path and risk losing, they've decided to find a path for settlement. So the biggest takeaway you can have here, kids, is if your attorney tells you to do something, it probably behooves you to listen to them. If they say, hey, don't delete your text messages, preserve evidence. Yes, it might be damning, but this is worse. And this ultimately led to what wound up happening here.
Is there going to be any follow-up, I guess, outside repercussions for TKO, Ari Emanuel, or anything to that effect?
No idea what the fallout's going to be, what the settlement is, all that. I think it's going to, you know what, we'll stay tuned, as you should, every Monday through Friday at noon Eastern on a plethora of platforms, including the WWE Creative _ ISH account, the at Dominic D'Angelo X account, the at SE Scoops X account, and on the YouTube on Podcast Heat and Studio One Sports. So on behalf of the man who sadly was not kidnapped, Dominic D'Angelo, I'm Robert Karpelis. Best of luck in your future endeavors.
Go Knicks. Don't kidnap me in NYC.
Shh.